Axle's done, hub is done, wheels are back on. Yes, sir. Told y'all the four-wheeler's gonna get fixed soon. But let's get back to what's important, which is the CRX. What is up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back. Thank you guys again for tuning in to the video of the CRX. You guys saw last time we went ahead and mounted the fender, try to get it lined up as good as possible, which, let me show you guys, is pretty good. It could still be adjusted just a hair right there, but for the most part, man, the fender's on. It looks good. We tried on the corner light last time with the headlight and it seemed pretty good. So today I want to try and get this fender on the passenger side now as close to the fitment as possible, even though this fender is a little bit beat up right here. We'll still try our best to get it to where it's supposed to be. I did have my paint and body guy actually come out today. I should have probably recorded that conversation, but it's all good. We went ahead and walked around the whole car. I showed him what's going to get painted, what's not going to get painted, and what he still needs to do himself, and he gave me a price. I'm happy with it. When it gets down to that point, I will let you guys obviously know the price and how it's going down. I am going to be painting it white again. To be more specific, it's going to be the Integra Type R, I believe it's called Championship White, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, nothing too crazy. We'll bolt this guy on, see how good we can get it. I might, take a hammer and some tools and try to bend this out and make it better than what it is. But besides that, nothing too crazy for today. So enough talking. Throw this camera on the tripod and start messing with that fender. So the same thing I did with the last side, I'm gonna go ahead and bolt this fender down. Not obviously permanently, but just kind of figure out what needs and what doesn't need to be adjusted. I'm just using some 10mm that I found in the container in my little junk, my little bolt bin. I think I want to put on, or at least kind of just sit down, the cowl plate to help out as well. Let me grab that. Now the cowl is in pretty good condition. There is one small little crack right there, but I could fix that. But the cowl is still in good condition. Yeah, see, I went ahead and just put tape just to hold it in place. But it is set to where it should be at with every little one of those little snap-in pins, I guess you can call them. But that's all I did. Now, nothing is bolted in completely, but just by the looks of that there, looks pretty decent. Just got to make sure everything else lines up and fits and makes sense. Didn't do this on the driver's side. I probably should have, but I didn't. Damn, that's way off. So I think for the most part I've pushed the fender up on that 10mm in there as far back as I can. I think this door has to come forward, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch or so, up so that it could match with the same gap that we have on the driver's side. You see the gap there. Let me get closer so you guys can see. You see that gap? It's about a 1/4 inch or so. But then here we got like, I don't know, 3/8 gap. So it obviously is incorrect. So I'm gonna go ahead and retake the fender off, try to push the door forward some, and then see where my gap is. Now, to be 1000% honest, if you look at the original like crust buildup and paint buildup, whatever you want to call it, debris, that hinge is right where it's supposed to be. Meaning that fender is either incorrect, or it's just been beat up or aftermarket or something that is just not sitting the way it's supposed to. If we look here on the driver's side, now granted, passenger side, I haven't taken off the weather strip that goes all the way around, but let's just, you know, use a little bit of eyeballing and common sense. It's about 3/8 here, I would say. Now if we come over here to the passenger side, it's about the same. If I take that weather stripping off from there, it's gonna be about the same. We could look all the way and it looks about 3/8. So I think that this is perfectly fine where it's supposed to be at. I think that is that fender is cooked. I did just reach out again to somebody else about a passenger side fender to see if they have one, and if they do, I might end up going with that instead of trying to beat myself up and beat that up more than it is to try to get it to fit properly. I'll put the fender back on for craps and giggles and see if I put the front headlight on and maybe just lay down the hood. I'm not gonna obviously install the hood, but I'll lay it down and see if like at least the top parts match up. Actually, sometimes I talk too fast and I get ahead of myself, but from what I just did, it could be inside of that fender where it's supposed to line up. That little tab might be just bent and it doesn't allow me to push it back further, because now look at that gap is almost like correct where it's supposed to be, except for down there where it's kind of beat up, but that gap looks about right now. And all I did was not put that 10mm bolt on the back side of this little corner. I just have those holding the fender on right now. Again, I'm waiting for that guy to reach back out and see if he has another fender, because if he does, I'll get it, and worst comes to worst, I'll have an extra fender that I could maybe use later on in the future. Grab the other headlight. Go ahead and tighten these down as well. Again, I'm going to grab the hood and just place it. No hinges, no latch, just placing the hood on top of this location. it looks like the fender can come in more. Sorry for the blur, my bad. But if we look at that gap it's about the same. But like I said, I think these fenders can go in a little bit more. I could also move this guy in. See, there we go. Remember guys, I'm just test fitting. Nothing is concrete, nothing is tightened all the way, but you can see that fitment sits correct. Let's look at it from the side right here. We come over here, that's pretty much the same, and that's pretty much the same as this side. We come over here and we kind of follow, if we follow this line, it kind of matches up. Let's move this way. I'm trying to be as transparent with you guys as possible. Comes here and kind of follows that curve. So that's a good sign. Now this hood is carbon fiber. It's the SIR style. The reason this is here, there was a hole there originally. So what I did to not have to get rid of this hood and let it go to waste is I made it just a little bit bigger and actually bought a carbon fiber vent that the air flows in. The reason I did that is so that when I have the K in there, if you know, the intake filter would probably sit in this area. So my thought process is nice cool air is going to go in and go straight to the filter. But that's besides the point. But I did want to give you guys background as to why there's a bigger hole there. This is going to get sanded again and re-cleared or epoxied. So that's another project. But that looks pretty good. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at all. What I am going to do is put another 10 here because there's one missing. Can you see that? I don't have that 10 there. So I'll tighten that one. I'm going to see if I tighten the 2 down here to make sure everything is copacetic and correct. And yeah, this fender, like I said, my body guy was here. He said if I could find another fender, it'd be better. But if we have to work with this one, that he will mess with it and fix it. So I may not put too much effort into it if he's going to. Tightened those 2 10s down there. The gap is much better, y'all. Much better. I took the hood off so that I could tighten these 3. Went ahead and put the hood back on. There's still a big gap there and a big gap here, which means the fenders do need to come in closer towards the hood. The next video, next time, I might remove the tape and actually sit this and place this down further the way it's supposed to. Maybe I'll put the hinges on as well and adjust the fenders a little bit more the way it's supposed to be, but that'll be on the next clippity clip. For now though, I am kind of happy with that, even though that little corner down there is a little mangled, but I'll let him work on that. I'll let the body guy work on that, but for the most part, this is on, fits correctly, and yeah, this is what it's looking like so far, y'all. Getting closer and closer and closer. And tomorrow, if I do put the hinges on, I'm not gonna put the shocks on yet. I'm gonna only put the hinges for now. I don't want to put the shocks and you know, use them up, I guess you could say, for now. I'll probably just put the hinges, no shocks. I know I didn't get into too much work today. Probably more talking if anything, but you know, it's the same process that I pretty much did on the other side on the driver's side. Take off, move, take off, move, push, pull, all that until it gets and sits the way it's supposed to. Until next time, you guys know the vibes, man. Chase the dream, not the competition. Peace.